Hi, this is Ashio, and today we're going to have another unscripted manga review, and you've already seen the title of the video, you know what I'm going to discuss, and I just kind of want to give a wider context on how I'm going to approach this video. I like to consider my channel as covering all kinds of titles, no matter what it might be, so and then judge it on its own merits kind of thing. So while I might read something like Domu, I might read something like Chainsaw Man, and I might read something like Swan. They all work on their own different ways, and so I'm dodging the issue. I'm going to try and handle this as delicately as I can. I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube, but also I want to give this manga its due because it is fun. And here we go, what you've been waiting for. This is I don't even want to say it because I don't want to get into trouble. Okay, Dick Fight Island, here it is. Oh man, you can tell that I'm just going to be awkward throughout this whole thing. So every 4 years there's a fighting tournament where these guys from random islands come together and they battle. But the battle, as you can imagine by the title alone, yeah, it's gonna be an interesting time. So the guy on the front cover, actually, he's not naked. They wear armour over themselves. All of the competitors are male, and if you're wearing clothes that cover up your backside, that's seen as a womanly thing. If your backside is hanging out, that's a manly man kind of thing, because you got to show off yourself because you're a super strong, extra confident dude. So it's made fairly clear that these islands are in the middle of nowhere. It's essentially like a different culture where different societal standards stand. So we got our main character who has spent his time abroad in foreign countries, and he's kind of learned how our world works, that walking around half naked isn't really the way to go. But these guys, well, we're returning back to the old ways. So basically, you're going to have a battle, and whoever wins the battle gets to be the king of all these different islands. And despite it being Volume 1, this is actually a complete story. You see the entire tournament of 8 fighters going right through to the final and see the end result. Volume 2 is en route. I don't know if it's going to be another tournament or just to hang out with the characters a little bit more. But I'm dodging the issue as strongly as I can. I want to... Oh man, you can tell I'm blushing, right? Because I find it so awkward to talk about this kind of stuff. So, how do you fight in Dick Fight Island? So, you can already see it coming. These guys have got their armoured gear, and they kind of have to grapple. Let's leave it at grappling. So you have to remove the armour, and these people, they have to essentially kind of conquer each other. But everyone's kind of super into it, and it's kind of harmless and kind of stupid, really stupid, over the top, and kind of like you just gotta enjoy it for the ride it is, because it's completely ridiculous. There's not a hint of realism throughout this whole thing. It's really over the top. It's really weird. That's super weird. And later on in the volume, someone from our world, they show up to witness the tournament, and their reaction is much the same as us. And ultimately, they're like, okay, sure, why not go with it? And it's just... Oh god, I'm just digging a bigger and bigger hole for myself. But basically, the artwork is kind of fantastic. The artwork's really nice. Everybody in this is basically a walking example of physical, muscled perfection. As an adult work, the way anatomy is portrayed is actually really well done. Sometimes when you read like a BL, the artwork, it kind of leans more toward like the creator's preferences or tastes, whereas this one, it's like muscled men, but done really well. But with dudes being guys and guys being fellas and fellas being bros, it's kind of like, it's kind of wholesome. So they kind of have a battle, one guy might lose, one guy might win, but they can still talk about it afterwards and move on with their relationships and their friendships amongst each other. So even though they have a bit of a sexual encounter, that doesn't mean they're actually involved romantically. It's kind of like very much not related to the real world, but it is this peculiar charm about it. If you head on to like the publisher's Twitter account, you can see that this title's getting a lot more mainstream attention that other BL titles normally don't. And with this wider attention, you're going to gain an audience that wouldn't necessarily come across this kind of work. But if you have a look through, read the comments, everyone's having fun. Everyone's having a good old laugh with it. Like the creators involved, the publishers involved, and people just want to be entertained by something that's really silly, really stupid. It is adult. You do see full-on nudity. You do see all the things that you would expect in a sexually explicit work. But it's done very knowingly. It's like the sound effects, how they're translated, they're really like juvenile translations in a really funny way. So if you do see someone's backside, there'll be like a jiggle sound effect, which is it's just stupid, but it's fun. So if you see this manga kind of doing the rounds and you're kind of curious, like, oh, is it just a meme? Is it just a silly thing? The answer's kind of like half and half. It is silly. It is a funny thing. It is a bit of a joke, but it's done well. It's done deliberately, and it's what it's there for. It's there to kind of just to be a bit of a laugh. Just kind of have something in common with the people online who've also read it, and it's like, oh, did you see that? Yeah, it was hilarious. I really enjoyed it, and it was a lot of fun. And that's kind of the power that this manga seems to have brought to the internet. It's a very positive thing in the strangest, bizarrest way possible, and I'm here for it. I was personally a little unprepared to be reading something like this quite so soon. I was fully intending to do a top 10 BL manga once I hit a certain subscriber count, because I have read a couple of things and there are a couple of things I can talk about in that regard. But something this full on, I wasn't ready for it. But it's a laugh, you're going to enjoy it if the idea of it doesn't put you off. If you read the title and says, oh, that sounds like a proper laugh, you're going to be fine. And if you're kind of concerned, or that's not for you, then yeah, you can judge the book by its cover. But that's it really, I'm going to put this thing down now. So that's kind of it. I just wanted to talk about what it is, what it's about a little bit, and how it goes about it, and why you might enjoy that. And I hope that that's okay. Probably the weirdest review I've ever done. It was a little bit brief. But yeah, this is it. This is a show signing off, and hopefully I will see you next time.